So I feel for all the families today, all the families across this country. The ones who testified, the ones who didn't get to testify because it was too hard.
Obviously an emotional day. It took over 2 years to complete, but the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls report finally released to the public. Lorelei Williams, you've been an advocate, a voice for Indigenous, the community in so many ways. Seeing you on stage is one thing, but hearing and feeling what this report means to you, take us into your mind, take us into your hearts. What does this mean for you and the family and the community?
It's been such a hard process. It's been so overwhelming, and it's really hard because, you know, our women and girls are still going missing and being murdered. So I don't feel like there's any justice, right? So, yeah.
Does it give you a bit of closure knowing there was some insight from this report? I mean, direct links to your family. I see it on your shirt right here. Your aunt, your cousin have been involved in this report. What does that mean on a personal level to see these types of results being shared and this momentum now moving towards finding answers?
Well, one of the recommendations point out the policing. They say something about policing, and I haven't been able to see the whole recommendation, but I've heard about it. And, you know, that sticks out to me because of what happened to my family. You know, there were so many flaws in both my missing aunt and my cousin's cases. So I was grateful to see that part of it, but then the next part is implementing those recommendations.
And making change to implement and to really see a new reality. Some powerful words were used. The idea of genocide being attached to what was found. We had PM Trudeau in Gatineau, Quebec, and then an address at the Women Deliver conference in Vancouver. To hear that word genocide attached to this report, how important is that for you?
That's very important to me because our people have been saying this for so long. There's been a genocide against our people, and for it to come out and so public, you know, it's never been so public before, and Canada isn't in denial about it. So for this to come out at the forefront right now, that's very important to us right now.
Now, you were speaking at Feminist Deliver yesterday, yeah, attached to Women Deliver, and you saw the address by PM Trudeau. Did you get a chance to engage about what was shared, what he had to say?
Yes, I did, actually. So I actually happened to walk into the Women Deliver conference right when you started talking about the national inquiry. It was just perfect timing. I walked in, he started talking about it, and he actually mentioned genocide there. You know, earlier that day, I heard that he didn't mention genocide once in Quebec. So when I walked in and I actually saw it with my own eyes, that he said this to the world, because there's people from around the world here for Women Deliver conference. So later on, I was actually able to meet him with Feminist Deliver, because I'm on Feminist Deliver, and we got to meet with him in person. And the only thing that I could say to him, like, he actually came to me and we talked, and we were face to face, and I was able to say the time for action is now. That's what we all agreed to say to him individually, and I was able to add my cousin and my aunt in it. So I said the time for action is now for my missing auntie Belinda Williams and for my murdered cousin Tanya Holick. And that's as far as I could even get, because when I mentioned my cousin Tanya, it's really hard for me to talk about her. So. But apparently, like, after that, it took a lot of strength for me to stand there and look at him face to face, because, you know, there's so much more that I wanted to say. I mean, but I probably would have said some stuff that I would have regretted. But then at the same time, being overwhelmed about my family and my look, I think it said more.
Well, you've been a powerful voice, an advocate for the Indigenous community. We have this report now. The PM has talked about a national action plan, and your voice will continue, and this narrative will continue in the news. Lorelei, I appreciate your courage to come on, share your story, and I hope we see that plan to create a new reality and help curb the violence we're seeing in the community. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's Lorelei Williams joining us right here on the BT Couch. More of your top news stories. Mary, back over to you.